Did I overreact? Was I 21F too cruel to break up with my BF 25M over calling me a suck-up/brown noser? So for some background, my boyfriend shares his office with another co-worker, we'll call him L, whom I see on a daily basis. For context, my BF is 25 and L is 45. L and I are not friends and we don't talk aside from passing hellos. My BF and L, and his wife, used to be super close friends, but we learned that L is a notorious cheater, and has had multiple affairs. One time L accidentally slept over at another woman's house and used my BF as an excuse/alibi, and my BF has refused to tell the wife the truth, as he says that working with L will become awkward and that their marriage is none of his business. That's a whole other post though. Anyways, L has turned out to be a disgusting man who objectifies and sexualizes women, only amplifying my hate towards him. But I remain civil with him, and as far as he knows, I know nothing about his affairs. According to my BF, that's just how his older co-workers are, and it is apparently normal. The incident: so Thursday, my BF and I were on the phone while he was on break at work. I ask my BF if he's with L right now, and he says yes. Then I say, tell him I said hi, and he does. Then, I felt kinda awkward, so I mentioned to my BF that I'm learning Spanish. L is Spanish, so I say that you should tell L that. I only say this because my BF usually steps out of his office to call me, but that day he didn't, and for whatever reason I felt like I needed to include him. Maybe I'm dumb for doing that. Anyways, my BF tells L. L thinks it's cool and asks why. And I say that because I applied for a job recently and it said that speaking another language gives you a leg up, and since I have the time now, I could set aside some time to learning it. To which my BF laughs and says, oh, you're a brown noser, and they both start to laugh at me. To those who don't know, brown nosing is like kissing someone's ass. It's based on the position of sticking one's nose into someone's anus, hence the brown nose wording. It really made me feel embarrassed because they were laughing at me and basically the type of person I am. I don't say anything though, and I tried to come across as cool by saying I know a few swear words and asking my BF to ask L if he knows what they mean. They both have a good laugh about it, and that was the end of the phone call. Then my BF texts me saying thanks for the amusement, and I reply very dryly. He then asks me what's wrong, to which I tell him that I didn't appreciate being made fun of. He continuously says that it wasn't personal, which irritates me even more because how was it not personal? I could understand if it was a general statement about everyone in a certain category, but this was different. He clearly said it to me, about me, towards me, in front of his co-workers, and he created a situation where I was being made fun of. He says that he was just joking and it was harmless fun teasing. And I tell him that he can't just insult me and then pull the JK card, and that it's not fun teasing if the other person is getting hurt. I'll admit, I became very irritated with him because he was trying to minimize what he did, and I started being super sarcastic to him. He responded with, I'm not going to retaliate, to which I said, oh wow, great. Look at you go. You want a prize for that? For not being mean to your GF for the bare fucking minimum? He did end up apologizing, but was still minimizing the fact that it was personal and hurtful. So we were in this fight where we weren't really talking. Later that day I tried making amends and apologizing for being mean/rude, although my feelings were still hurt. And he just didn't communicate with me and said that he didn't know how he felt or what to say, so I decided to leave him alone. Then, he called me Friday morning saying that he told L about everything to get his advice on what he should do. I'm not going to lie, but this was the last straw. I didn't yell or get upset. I heard him out. I heard everything he had to say. He said that he apologizes for talking to L. He knows that I hate people knowing about our relationship problems, but he needed to and figured L would be the perfect person to talk to, as he's been to couples counseling, because he cheated on his wife dozens of times, and that he thought L would have good advice. Basically, L said that we should see someone and have someone as a facilitator to figure out this impasse and come to an agreement. I told my BF that I can't believe he told L that he would want to take relationship advice from the same man that used him as an excuse and the same man who constant cheats on his wife with. I told him him the only reason I didn't make a big deal / scene about it on the phone was because I didn't want Elle knowing. I don't know what my BF told him, so I don't know what Elle think of me, which gives me extreme anxiety just thinking about. I told my BF that I wish he hadn't done that because I can't ever see Elle again. BCF said anxiety. I told him that he literally could have told anyone besides him. Now, I can't be seen around campus with my BF in front of Elle again. It's just way too embarrassing for me. So I decided to just break up with him. Also, we've been together 2 years, and I really had hoped my BF would know me better than to make all the wrong moves. From humiliating me in front of a coworker, to talking about our relationship problems with coworkers that I have to see on a daily basis. Also, my BF has called me a suck-up / brown noser before in the past too, when I told him that on the first day of each of my classes, I like to go up to TAs and profs and just informally introduce myself. Keep in mind that these classes can have upward of 500 plus students, and I just like to make myself familiar so I can maximize my opportunities. And he called me a brown noser for doing that, but I let it slide because he was joking / teasing, and this happened when it was just me and him alone. Although, it was embarrassing back then too, because it was like he was making fun of my character and who I am as a person. Sorry this is long, but I wanted some peace of mind if I did the right thing, and if not, how should I approach the situation to fix the relationship? Any advice is appreciated. Thank you. Too long didn't read. My BF called me a brown noser in front of his coworker for learning Spanish, and when I discussed my hurt with him in private, he told the coworker everything about it to get advice, so I broke up with him. The brown nosing comment seems to me to be just the tip of an iceberg, the iceberg being your BF's very low emotional IQ and lack of regard for your feelings. If he hasn't managed to learn how to respect you in the fundamental and unconditional way that every person in a serious relationship deserves, I would say you were definitely right to cut your losses. You can break up with anyone for any reason. This guy condones cheating and makes fun of you for being ambitious. Find someone better. You can break up with anyone for any reason. The only person who can say that you overreacted is you. You can wake up one morning for no reason at all and break up with someone. If you're done with the relationship and done with him, then you reacted totally appropriately. If you want to make it work and don't mean it, then yeah, you totally overreacted and are acting manipulatively. God knows the condoning cheating thing alone would have been breakup time for many people. I really wouldn't stress on the particular thing that was the final straw here. The problem was the tinder box was full. It's pretty often something little that is the thing fills the bucket one drop too high. I don't think you're cruel for breaking up with someone because you don't want to deal with them anymore. You don't owe anyone dating them, and I sure as fuck wouldn't want someone like Elle all up in my personal business either. Date someone who doesn't mock you for making an effort. Overreaction to the comment, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who is friends with a guy like Elle. I 32M, am constantly catfished by my ex 29F, on dating apps even though we broke up a long time ago. Basically, I have absolutely no idea what to do. I go on a dating app, see someone who looks like we'd get along, similar interests, attractive, etc., and then I start talking and it becomes obvious something is off. The way they talk and all hits some red flags, like I've seen it before. After some digging I usually find out it's a fake account. For example, the person is single but I reverse images, find pics with their BF posted at same time I'm talking and they speak another language than mine yet are fluent when we speak. Add in profile unverified, no social media linked, etc. Oftentimes I've caught my ex and she's admitted it, but she's started again. I have no idea what I can do as they'll just make a new account even if I report them. For stuff like Tinder your number gets banned, but for Bumble you're pretty much screwed as they just make a new FB account. It's not like I can report this to someone else either. It's just someone harassing me even though I've told them to leave me alone years ago. The same person has made fake accounts of me and impersonated me to people. No idea how to deal with this. I've told them to stop but unsure how to get some official solution. Too long didn't read. Ex consistently tries to catfish me on dating sites / apps. It's been years and I don't know how to make it stop. Yikes. As someone else said, you could try to get the police involved. Not because it's likely to truly accomplish anything legally, but just to scare her and hopefully make the point of how creepy she's being. I think your main choices are to either stay off dating sites completely for a while, or to just keep blocking/ignoring her when you do catch her. If you try to use fake pics/name for yourself, it will probably backfire with any potential new women you meet. If you ignore her long enough and hopefully find a new GF, she will probably get bored eventually. She sounds insane though. Best of luck. I hope you're screenshotting all of this where you're calling her out and she is admitting she is doing it. Especially where she is impersonating you. Get those receipts, talk to a lawyer about identity theft. Hell, talk about the possibility of a restraining order because she sounds obsessed with you. If you're not willing to go on that route and you're at your wit's end, TBH, I'd start sending those screenshots to the people she cares about. Parents, family, close friends, people who she trusts, to make them start asking her some hard and embarrassing questions. The same person has made fake accounts of me and impersonated me to people. That's identity theft. You can potentially get a restraining order. Even if you aren't successful, it might be enough to send a message. Try messaging girls with different interests than you. She's basing the profiles on what she knows you already like, so try messaging people with other interests and hobbies. You never know, you might find out you like something new, and she won't be anything like your ex in personality. Winking face. Take a break from this stuff for 6 months. Let her get bored or waste her time at least. 49F. My son, 25M, recently got brain damage from an accident. My husband, 50M, and I have been fighting because he abandons us to gamble and is emotionally torn, and now he is threatening to report me for caregiver abuse/neglect. Can answer any questions. We are mid-income and us three are the only people in immediate family besides for abusive aboji. My Yomo is not here anymore to help. We don't have resources. Our son, aged mid-20s, suffered brain damage from a transportation accident. He's making some progress, but he is still having problems with being fed, still has a lot of trouble understanding what is going on or what's being said, wears diapers and needs bathe every day. Most of his time is laying down or reclined laying down. I like to hold him or put him in a chair to sit with me, but I need help moving him long distance. I care for son most of the time. Husband is never home much and too often doesn't answer phone calls because of working or disappearing for reasons I don't know. Now he's doing it more often. I financially and emotionally depend on him, so it is not a matter of leaving with no problems and I need some guidance. I work from home for international and it is not enough, so I have money from husband, but husband is gambling even more and he's back and forth between worrying about the money for alcohol and more gambling, and panicking about getting money for the diapers and medical debt and things for our son. There's so much tension that we have started fighting over tiny things anytime he is home, and I keep it away from my son, but my son is still affected. Today he has been threatening to report me for abuse and neglect. He is threatening to report me for abuse because of things out of my control. For examples, I had left him wearing socks and a diaper husband put on him that I wasn't aware were too tight until I finally checked him an hour later and saw marks in his skin. Today I was trying to feed our son and was holding his mouth open because I have to hold his mouth open sometimes to make him more likely to take a spoon in his mouth. Husband shames me for son being underweight and husband will not listen, though I explained that son has been suffering from anorexia because he does not believe men have anorexia. I make sure that our son is taken care of as well as possible and he does not get pressure sores or diaper rash or even in the same clothes for more than one day, and I talk to him all day when I'm not working or sleeping, which he seems to enjoy because we always had a good relationship. My son is priority because we agreed that if something happened to him I would always being here and promise to take care of him, and he will pull through with what life gives him, and I want to make all of the best decisions to do what is right for him, similar as he would have for me if I had these problems. What can I do for the situation and in order to protect my son and myself and possibly help my husband? Too long didn't read. Our son got brain damage and I am the caretaker. Husband and I are fighting because he is having problems and we are having financial problems that make me unable to leave, so I need guidance. He threatened to report for being abusive and neglecting and I do not know what to do.